Wonder Woman 1984. Is it as bad as what they say it is? My name's Fatih and I'm part of the Small Talk crew, and here's my review to the much anticipated sequel to Wonder Woman and, well, how bad it is. Before I give you my views on Wonder Woman 1984, just like to say, yes, there are other reviews out there that probably go into more of an in-depth view on the DC universe and maybe on a per scene by basis of this movie. I'm just giving you my little views and some of the little parts that absolutely pissed me off. Okay, and hopefully you can subscribe down below, and we do plan to do more TV shows and games and movie reviews in the future, so hopefully you guys will click on that subscribe button and we'll get them out to you as soon as possible. Gal Gadot returns as Wonder Woman for this anticipated sequel, along with Patty Jenkins, who did direct the first movie. For some reason, they brought along Chris Pine, who we sort of saw him die in the original movie, but we'll get to that one just a bit later. Joining them for the sequel, we have Kristen Wiig, who sort of plays the same role that we've always seen before, which is that nerdy, overlooked, unattractive best friend sort of thing to Wonder Woman, but it's nothing new. But she did do her best in the role that she was given. Joining them as the villain for this movie is Pedro Pascal. Now, you guys might know him from Game of Thrones, Mandalorian, or even Narcos. He sort of plays his role perfectly, in my opinion, and is the reason why this movie probably gets the rating that it does get. The story revolves itself around the Dreamstone, in which Pedro's character Maxwell Lord happens to get his hands on. Now, the moment he obtains it, it all pretty much goes downhill from there. This also leads into the storyline of why Chris Pine's character, Steve Trevor, happens to make his return into this sequel. Now, long story short, the Dreamstone allows you to make a wish, I should say, and also take something else in return, leading into the whole world into chaos. For some reason, no one seems to wish for world peace, even when the world is at the brink of destruction.
And I'm sorry.
With Wonder Woman's wish now granted, and Steve sort of takes the body of a guy who had nothing to do with anything, sort of makes a massive plot hole here, because Wonder Woman sees Steve's image in another guy who there is no connection to the story whatsoever, and no one asks about whether he has a family or if he's going to work or if he exists or anything like that. So I know that the director's trying to defend this storyline, but there's really not an explanation into this, and for some reason it's just more of a financial pull, maybe just to bring in the male factor to the movie and Chris Pine back into the movie. It's quite bad. One of the major mediocre points for me in this movie all happened in one scene. They decided to steal a fighter jet out of a Smithsonian and able to walk on a tarmac with no security and not being stopped by anyone until the fighter jet was actually in operation. This led to one of the more absurd things for me in this movie, which was Wonder Woman suddenly deciding that she knows invisibility, or figuring out that she has invisibility. Now, there is no build up to this in the movie whatsoever. It was, she tried it with a coffee cup, as she stated in the movie, and suddenly the fighter jet went invisible. This also led to another problematic point for me in the movie, which was they flew in to some fireworks, and for some reason the fireworks were able to go through them and above them and did not have any issues on their flying whatsoever. It just opened so many loopholes throughout the movie, again, all in one scene. Now, the moment of truth, the rating. Now, at the time of filming this, IMDb had Wonder Woman 1984 at a measly 5.5. We've sort of adopted the same method that IMDb has regarding a star system, 1 being absolute shit, 10 being the shit. Now, regarding Wonder Woman 1984, I have to say I did enjoy Pedro Pascal's performance as Maxwell Lord, which sort of did boost my rating, but not enough to save this movie. Unfortunately, it's a 4 out of 10 from us. This movie just, it didn't capture what number one was, and it just felt so rushed. And unfortunately, with this movie being released at the later end of 2020, my suggestion, let's keep it in 2020, because 2020 was a shit year.